Let's talk about the real reason your clients are ghosting you. We're going to cover inside of this masterclass today, managing your bride's expectations, those real reasons why you're getting ghosted, four buyer personalities to understand in sales so you can get more bridal bookings, and the objective, understanding why your clients are ghosting and ways to prevent it because we don't want you getting ghosted, my friend. Let me know, does this sound familiar? Your client fills out an inquiry, hits your inbox, you send over a quote, you send over your rates, proposal, packages, whatever it is, and then you never hear back. And you're like, what happened? What went wrong? Why you think you're getting ghosted is because you're like, I sent over my rates and I just never heard back. And you're like, it's my prices. My prices are too high. You're out of their budget. They're price shopping around. But what I want to tell you is these actually aren't it. Real reasons why you're actually getting ghosted are a little bit deeper than just your prices. So some of the reasons are they have no idea when they're going to hear back from you. Someone responded faster. Maybe it took you 3 days to respond to them, or your quote, your proposal left risk in their mind of hiring you a year from now. And they're like, I don't know, I feel a little iffy about it. I don't want to sign on that dotted line today. The quote left too many questions in their mind. So that's going to lead to indecision. There's too much friction in order to book with you. So there's too many buttons to click. There's too many options or questions that they still have that are unanswered. Your process is unclear. You never follow up with them, or there's no call to action in your email. And what I need you to understand is the reason why you're getting ghosted has nothing to do with your inquiry form. Your inquiry form is not going to weed them out. If there was a magic thing in your inquiry form that is going to weed out people ghosting you, please, I would hand it over. There is no magic formula. I hear this all the time from my students in my programs that my inquiry form has XYZ to weed out the ghosters. And my friend, there is no magic solution for that because I just give it to you, right? Your inquiry form won't weed them out. It's in place to generate leads for your business, not to reduce ghosters. So your offer should be what qualifies them if they're the right fit for your business. And you should also be doing that inside of your marketing, which is qualifying them to send an inquiry to you, right? People inquire with you because they want to hire you. We need to help make them make a decision, right? That's our job. They're inquiring with you because they need services. We got to help them understand and decide on those. What I need you to understand is if you're thinking you're getting ghosted because your prices are too high or out of budget, I need you to expect this from 10% of the inquiries that land in your inbox. So expect this. So when you can expect it, you can plan for it, right? This doesn't mean that you adjust your rates, that you give discounts, or you come down to that level, right? It means we're not a good fit, and that's okay, right? Some of the people in your inbox are going to be price shopping. So another 10%, I need you to expect that if you don't have your rates listed on your website, yes, they're going to be price shopping. They're sending out inquiries with loads of other stylists or makeup artists because no one puts their rates on their website. Please, can we change that in our industry? They want an idea of what it costs. There you go. It's as if you're walking down the street, you have something in your mind that you want, the specific dress, but you're going to every different store to see this store has a dress that I like. This store has the dress that I really like, but it's this price. This one has the same dress, but it's that price. That's what they're doing. And that's going to be 10% of your inquiries, right? And it's normal and we should expect that. We need to be following up with them again to help them make that decision because they need help deciding. They see your rates and packages on your website. They read about your offer. They still need help deciding if you're the right fit for them. That's why they inquired with you. So help them decide. So that's going to be 80% of your inquiries. So what it actually is, what I find when people are getting ghosted is it may be your response time. There's friction in your process of how to book with you, how to have a conversation with you. Again, response time. There's too much risk in their mind, and you're not expecting it. You're not expecting that somebody in your inbox might just not respond to you, right? So why you're blind to it is maybe right now you're out of the office, you're taking time off, you're not actively working with clients. Then spring and summer rolls around where it's like the busier seasons and you're servicing clients on weekends, grinding it out, right? And then November comes around, which is a little bit of a slower season. This is when you stress about your year ahead. You think what you need to do is market more, post more on social media, and your focus is on getting more clients. So this is why you're blind to it, right? Because your focus this entire time, likely because you're so busy servicing clients, you're focused on getting more. Instead, you should be focused on how I can get better, right? You can't outmarket a bad experience. So what you want to be focusing on is what friction is my client experiencing on their end when they email with me? What friction are they experiencing on their end when they sign the contract, pay the invoice, receive emails from me? What is it like on their end? If you're just focused on your marketing over here, but you're not focused on the delivery of your services, on getting your conversion rates up, right? How is the client experience at their trial, the day of their wedding day? How can I reduce the bad experiences? How can I make it easier for them to book with me? How can I simplify letting them know about my services and helping them decide if I'm the right fit for them? How can I make my services better and improve? What friction points are on their end from my client's point of view that I can take into my own hands and make better? What friction points are there within my business based on the past year, right? So these are all things that you can do to audit your business of how you can make your client experience better and help reduce some friction, right? So my goals for this masterclass is we're going to talk about your response time, speeding that up, friction in your process, reducing that on your client's end, reducing the risk for your client, and preparing you to expect that some clients are going to ghost you. So let's talk about the 4 buyer type personalities in sales psychology that I absolutely love. And this is going to hit home for you guys. So we have analytical, amiable, assertive, and expressive. So the analytical buyer. So when we're talking about buyer personalities, before I dive into this is we all buy with a different personality type. So my mentor, Natasha Zork, explains this as love languages. A love language that for somebody's love language, if you know what they are, they're physical touch, gift giving, quality time, words of affirmation, and acts of service. So let's just say your love language is physical touch, but your partner's love language is words of affirmation. So if your partner is just loading you up with compliments and little notes and giving you cards all the time, but they're not hugging you, kissing you, holding your hand in public, you're going to be like, I don't feel love. And they're going to be like, why isn't she feeling love for me? I'm showing her all day. It's the same thing with brides in your inbox when you're having conversations. We all like to be talked to in a different way in order to feel safe and secure. So sending out a mass email with the same copy and paste for every single client isn't really going to do the trick, especially in the beginning of conversations. So that's where the 4 buyer type personalities are really going to come into play. So let's break them down. So we have analytical. Who is she? So brides with an analytical personality are heavily focused on data. They want the facts, the figures, the features of your services. They don't want the fluffy fluff. Their buying process takes longer because they want to fully understand what they're getting before they hire you. They assess risk at all costs. They take a lot longer to make a buying decision, and they are most likely to be the ones that are ghosting you. And they might not even really be ghosting you. They are just taking longer to make sure that it's worth the risk, it's worth the investment. So they really need to stalk you out for a little bit, and they might reach out to you, but they are the ones who really need help in making the decision. These brides have the most questions. They require the most patience and detail because they don't make rash decisions. They're like, hold up, let me think about it. Give me a couple of days. They don't want to be pressured in making the decision. The best practices for them is to have frequently asked questions in your initial response, right? Because they're going to have a lot of questions. So answer those questions before they even ask. That's going to help them feel safe and comfortable. Multiple follow-ups, answering questions. So you want to follow up with this buyer type specifically and answer those questions before they even respond to you, right? And ask them, right? Or they might not even reach out to you, but they're thinking of these questions. They love data-driven results on your websites and in your emails. They like the features. They want things bullet pointed out, right? Now let's talk about the amiable. And a person with an amiable personality, they truly value the relationship with you and the business. They want to get to know you before booking with you. They likely put their engagement story in their inquiry. They share small personal details with you, would love you to do the same. They want to feel that relationship, that connection beyond the business, right? They don't want to be talked to cold and dry. An analytical buyer type is probably how she's going to be talking in her emails, but the amiable, she's going to be like, I want to be best friends with you, right? They find data-driven stats to be overwhelming. Instead, they focus on emotional-based reviews. They aim to make everyone else happy. So the people that are most important are the moms, the bridal party before her own self, before her own makeup and her own hair. The best practices for this buyer type is sharing your personal beliefs about your bridal hair or bridal makeup in the initial inquiry. So like sharing a little bit first, client experience reviews help them see the emotions of the day, and focus on building a friendship in emails rather than just like selling them and like, here's the proposal, here's my rates. That's going to work maybe with an analytical, but amiable, she's going to be like, hard pass, no thank you, I don't feel the vibes here, right? She wants to share stories. She wants to be asked questions. She wants to be engaged with, right? Now let's talk about assertive or a driver buyer. A person with a driver buyer personality, they're prepped and ready to book. They've done their research prior to reaching out to you. They have a quicker buying process. They know what they want. They're very straightforward. They're decisive when it comes to hiring wedding vendors. Speed is important. They want it Amazon fast. She'll appreciate you showing her the end hair results, and they really want to see you in your own power. They really want to see you bragging about the outcomes and bragging about your brides. They really want to see that outcome of the results. They're not so in the details. They want to hear about the end result in the most efficient way possible, but they love hearing about somebody that they're investing in, their accomplishments. They love that they're hiring somebody who's super successful. They are very about their image. So some best practices for this buyer is to be quick to the point when responding to her emails, have a painless booking process, right? They want it Amazon fast. Speed is very important to them. Now let's talk about an expressive buyer. Somebody with an expressive buyer personality are similar to the amiable personality in the way that they value the relationship over the service being booked. They value the vibes that you're bringing to the wedding day. She wants to let her emotions guide her. The vibes are the priority. She wants that relationship beyond just the makeup, beyond just the hair. She wants to feel like your absolute star client, right? She wants to see the impact your business has on the world. She's likely responding to your Instagram stories, wanting to connect with you, giving you like that big fangirl energy. And we love her, right? She values vibes over data. They want to see how your service will elevate their image and relationships. Be entertaining in your emails to give good vibes. Give that best friend energy to this buyer type, right? They'll love to be a fan on your Instagram. Engage with them. They want attention from you as the business owner to feel included in your business, right? Now let's tackle these buyers to reduce ghosters. We want to speed up the response time, reduce friction on their end, reduce the risk for your client, and prepare you to expect it. So let's tackle too much risk. So let me ask you, how much risk is involved on your client's end? Have you ever thought of that? Have you ever thought in your client's point of view? So let's think through a little bit of what your bride's journey is like with you. So she likely starts her journey with you by paying a deposit that they won't get back. She's going to sign a binding contract, spend thousands of dollars with you, and wait to meet you 8 months later at their hair trial. This is a major risk for them, right? Think about it. They're starting off, they have to be so secure in you and the services that you offer that they're spending thousands of dollars with you, signing the binding contracts, paying a deposit they won't get back. So it's a massive risk for them, right? Let me ask you, what's the minimum it is to book with you? What's your booking minimum for bridal services for the wedding day? Mine was 1,700 when I was in when I had my bridal hair business. So when was the last time you invested something that was the same amount of your minimum? Or if you don't have a booking minimum yet, that's okay. How much is it for bridal services with you, right? When was the last time you invested that same amount into something? Probably one of my online courses, or probably an online course or something like that. Think about the risk assessment you have when enrolling or when paying something that's $1,700. So, what I want you to do is let's look at something that is the same amount of my booking minimum, which was $1,700. So, let's imagine that you're looking at a bed frame. You want an upholstered bed frame and you love this one. This is your very first time viewing it, and we're going to assess the risk from 1 to 10. So this is all you have. This is your first time viewing it. You've never seen this bed frame before. You know that you need one, but this is the first time viewing it. There's one view, one color. You have the price right here. There's no reviews. It only comes in 2 different sizes. I can't see any videos of it. I have no idea of anyone else who's bought this and what this is actually going to be like when it gets into my house. This is a 10 out of 10 risk for me. Now let's look at it when we have a brand attached to it. Previously, we didn't even have a brand attached to it. Now we know it's a Crate and Barrel. A Crate and Barrel is reputable, but it's still $1,700. Now I know it comes in 3 different colors. Now I know when it's going to ship to me. So this is all making more credibility in my mind as the consumer. I also have a button here where I can ask questions. I see that it has 5-star reviews, and I can click here and read more of the reviews, but I still have no photos. I'm not able to see other views of it. I can't read the reviews. So this is still pretty high risk to spend $1,700 on a bed. But now maybe there's a bunch of different views. You can see it in different environments. You can get a 360 view so you can see everything about this bed. You can actually get to measure it in your space. You can now create a mood board. You could see it all together. So this is decreasing the risk in my eyes as the consumer. The $1,700 is still a bit high, but my risk level of investing this much into a upholstered bed is going down to about a 4 out of 10. Now imagine this is my 4th to 10th time viewing this website. Okay, I'm familiarizing myself with it. I've seen it about 5 different times. So I'm really stalking it out. And now they're giving me 10% off. They're giving me 10% off that I can save. I have the reviews that I can read now. So the risk of me purchasing a $1,700 bed is going down to about a 3 out of 10. Now imagine I have all of this. I have all the views. I can make the mood board. I can see it in my space. I have the credibility of Crate and Barrel's reputation. I can see when it's going to be shipped to me. So I know all of that. I know the colors it comes in. But now I've also seen it pop up on my TikTok, my Instagram feed, and other people that I trust that are influencers have reviewed this exact same bed. So this is decreasing so much risk in my mind that this investment is going to be worth it for me. So this now has become a 0 out of a 10 risk versus in the beginning when I was viewing it my very first time, $1,700 for a bed with 0 views, no brand, no additional images. I didn't know when it would get shipped to me. That seems like a 10 out of 10 risk, right? So what we have to think of is our client's point of view when they are viewing our websites, our portfolios, our Instagrams. So I want you to think to yourself, how much risk is involved on your client's end? Let's do a little website portfolio audit, shall we? So add your prices in your packages. Let them know what they can be spending with you. Add visuals to match your offer, right? So people want to know what they can expect when working with you. That they want to know how much to budget for, how much to save up. Tell them. Hiding your rates used to be this like marketing tactic, so that way the client would be forced to submit an inquiry to get the answer, which would then lead them into marketing and follow-ups and things like that. But that's just not the vibe going into 2025 and beyond. Brides want to know what it is. They are aware of that tactic and they don't want any parts of it. We're in an Amazon world. We want it fast. We want it now, right? Deliver on it. Add the visuals to match your offer. Go through your Instagram. If you're saying you're a glam wave expert, but all I'm seeing is half ups and maybe some ponytails here and there, the math ain't math then, my friend. If you say in your Instagram bio, you're a luxury bridal makeup artist or you're a luxury bridal hairstylist, but it's not matching with your portfolio, it's not giving Prada, it's not giving Dior, which those high-end luxury brands, they don't ever use the word luxury. Luxury is silent. Luxury doesn't need the word luxury slapped on it. It's the visuals that make it luxury, right? Make sure your visuals, aka your portfolio, the images that you're putting out on your Instagram is matching what you're offering to lower the risk for your clients. So how much risk again is involved on your client's end? Your clients take on a massive risk when hiring us. How can we reduce this in their eyes without more effort from us all the time? This is a question, and this is what I get in inquiry forms all the time from brides. They say, I have a stylist, but I'm freaking out. She can't do the bun the way that I want her to. I wanted you to begin with, but you had a wedding. Do you have any cancellations? Meaning she already booked a hairstylist, but she saw her portfolio and realized, oh my God, this isn't somebody that I want to book with, because her visuals didn't match what she was offering. And this scared the bride, and she wants to go with another hairstylist. So let's look at high risk versus how we can lower the risk. So what would be a high risk on your client's end? A high risk would be you raise your rates without any value or your brand credibility going up in their eyes. You have a huge deposit to book with you. You don't have any expectations of what you need from them or what it's going to look like on their end. You have unclear communication, meaning they sign a deposit, or they pay a deposit, they sign the contract, and then they don't hear from you until 2 months before the wedding to book a trial, right? You basically ghost them after they sign a contract with you, right? You're not meeting them in real life until after booking. You have no client transformations. There's no trust built. That is a lot of risk. That's high risk. Now let's look at lower risk. What can this look like? You have perceived value. You have that perceived value of what you offer beyond just makeup, beyond just hair, right? And that's clearly communicated. You have a smaller deposit to book, so it's not this large chunk of money up front for them. You have dozens of client reviews raving about your services. You have dozens of before and afters to clearly showcase that transformation that you offer. You have trust built on social media with your valuable content that you're showing up daily and that you're active, right? You have clear expectations, clear communication. You have consults before booking with them, right? That's all going to decrease the risk that's involved for your client and their perception of how risky it is for them to hire you, right? So when we're thinking about your deposit, so it would be a lot less risky or a lot easier for somebody to agree to a smaller deposit of a flat fee of $300 versus 50%. So if you're looking at the booking minimum of $1,700, a 50% non-refundable deposit is $850. Massive on your client's end, right? That's a huge risk, possibly lose out on that deposit. Lower that risk to entry and try maybe doing just a flat fee versus having that 50% deposit. If you don't do trials before booking, I get it, but your clients won't get to meet you until 8 to 12 months after booking. You don't get to touch their face, do their makeup, or do their hair until their trial. This is a massive risk for them as well. If we can lower that risk by offering a consult, whether that's on the phone or whether that's just an email. So no consult, they're blindly trusting you a little bit and they're just basically going off photos, but they're still in their minds thinking, how can you actually help me? A consult is going to build extra trust with you. So for your brides who are on the fence and need help deciding, lower that risk for them by doing a consult call, having a consult form, or doing something fun like a consult quiz on your Instagram that you can offer for them. Give them as much visuals as possible that they can see themselves in, and this will decrease their risk of it working for them. They're going to think, oh my God, I see this style, but is that going to work for my hair? If you don't have transformations, this is a high risk. You want to have dozens on your social media, website, in your emails so they can see themselves in it. Now, let me tell you about the very first fitness program that I joined. I joined Katie Hearn's fitness program when I started my fitness journey back in 2016, simply because she had dark hair and blue eyes. And I was like, if she can have that body, she's 5 foot, I'm 5'2", that's what I'm going to look like. So I simply signed up for her program because I saw myself in her program. I saw myself in that transformation of what she had. It's the same for our clients. They want to see themselves in that transformation. Now let's talk about how you're not expecting people to ghost you. Do you actually prepare yourself to be ghosted? You're probably like, no, I do not prepare myself, Marissa, to get ghosted, because you're right. I never did in the beginning either. But I want you to prepare for it. Or if you're not preparing for it, you're not following up. So I want you to know in sales, 80% of sales require 5 follow-ups. That's 5 emails. 5 times you're in their inbox reminding them. Yet most people give up after 1 follow-up. Not everyone is a good fit. They don't want the awkward breakup, so they silently move on. They're not going to be like, you know what, this isn't working out. No, thank you. I went somewhere else. Some people will, but not everybody will. And I just need you to prepare for that. So think to yourself, the last time you inquired about a service or you wanted a product, somewhere where you were actually talking with somebody where you would have to let them know that it wasn't a good fit. How did that feel for you? You need to put yourself in your client's shoes at how that felt for them. It's probably a little bit awkward. You're probably like, I want to avoid that as well. And some people are like that too. Expect that from 10%. Prepare to always follow up at least 3 to 5 times. And remember, they inquired with you because they want to hire you, right? You just need to help them make that decision to book. So here's some reasons that I need you to understand of why they're not responding to you, right? They have a life, right? Maybe they opened it, they're reviewing it. Maybe they need to talk to somebody else about it. They're reviewing it with their partner. They're busy. Sometimes I've had brides reach back out to me and say that they actually lost a family member or somebody's going to surgery or they got sick. Maybe a family member is sick. The work got in the way. Wedding planning fell off. All of these things happen and life happens. And that might be a reason for no response. Again, another reason why you want to make sure that you are always following up with them. And I always follow up with my brides. And every time I use some specific follow-ups, I typically will get a response from them, and not only a response, but they'll wind up booking with me. So here's one of my clients where she had reached out and I reached back out to her the next day. So she reached out on 9/26, I reached out on 9/27, and then 2 days later I followed up with her. And then that same day that I followed up with her, she wound up booking with me just simply because I followed up with her. Now, could you imagine if I didn't follow up with her? I may have thought she ghosted. Or if I had gotten in my own head and thought, oh my God, I haven't heard back from her the same day, I'm not going to follow up with her, right? But I said, I'm going to follow up with her. And this is actually a part of my workflow. So this is actually automated. So I don't even need to think about it. This is automated in my Dubsado workflow. So it just automatically sends out. So I can't even stop my own self. I can't even self-sabotage my own self because it's just automatically going to follow with my clients anyway, right? And this is the exact follow-up that I wound up setting out. And you can find it for free, 100% down description below. You can find this exact email template that I'll send over to you so you can create your own and copy and paste it to send to your own brides. And like I was saying, this is automated inside of my Dubsado workflow, and it's my new lead workflow that I do inside of Dubsado. And this is what it looks like. She fills out an inquiry. I auto response with links and my packages, and then I respond the next day when I'm online to her inquiry and I reply. I make sure that my proposal, my contract, the deposit where she can send her invoice over is all linked in one. Then once we book the confirmation or once we book the wedding, I send over a booking confirmation. But if I don't hear from her and she doesn't book, I send a 24-hour follow-up, a 2-day follow-up, and a 5-day follow-up. The first follow-up, I'm going to answer questions that she may likely have. The second follow-up, I'm going to tackle those objections that maybe she has, and what we like to call these are sales objections. And then the 5-day follow-up is going to be like a final call of this proposal. Now let's talk about your response time. So let me ask you, how fast are you responding to your inquiries? You can be honest here. This is a safe space. How fast are you responding to your inquiries? It doesn't need to be lightning fast, but is it taking a couple hours? Is it taking a couple days? Is it taking a couple weeks? We're not judging here. That's okay. But I receive these emails from brides all the time. They're saying things like they've reached out to multiple stylists and they just haven't heard back. They get ghosted. We're so worried about us getting ghosted, but we ghost our own clients all the time. 30 to 50% of sales go to the vendor that responds first. Did you know that? 30 to 50%, just to the person who is simply responding first. So by knowing that, if you want to reduce ghosting, the number one thing you can do is respond faster, right? My response to this bride was the morning after her inquiry, and she was added to my 2025 waitlist, and then she wound up booking with me. So here's another bride who booked immediately after my response, because I send an automated response. And when I'm in my emails, she's going to know when I'm back in my emails and I respond immediately, right? She inquired on 9/20. My response was the very next day, and she booked that same day that I responded, which was $800 for bridal hair. And she added on touch ups, and she wound up tipping me $700 on the day of. It was absolutely insane. And she booked with me the same day that I responded. Your response time is important. We are living in an Amazon world where people want to tap buy now. They want to tap book now and receive it 2 hours later at their doorstep. Why is it taking us days to respond to our inquiries? How long would you wait a response from moving on? So how long would you wait for a response for something that you inquired for? Let's just say a landscaper. You're looking for a landscaper service, you inquired, but it's been like 4 days and you haven't heard anything. How long is it going to take you to move on and go to other landscapers, right? Or let's just say you reach out to 5 different ones. The first one that responds to you is likely going to be the one that you have over to do your lawn, right? It's probably going to be the first one. You want it Amazon fast. So let's think about it. Let's just say on a Saturday, she inquires for a quote. Then she gets no word from you. Tuesday, you respond, but she's already moved on. But in your mind, you're like, she ghosted me. But on her mind, she's like, she ghosted me. I didn't hear from her, right? That's what our brides are thinking. So, what I want you to do is obviously on Saturdays and the weekends, we're not working. But here's what you want to do: you want to give them an immediate automated response after they fill out your inquiry form. So, they fill out your inquiry form, you want to be in their inbox and you want to be saying to them, hey, at your inquiry, you're in a safe space. I'm actually working on the weekends, but here's when you can expect a response from me. So, even if you're not able to tackle their inquiry, give over your availability in that moment, you're at least saying to them, hey, this is when you can expect a response from me. And this is the best part. This is what clients love, something they can do in the meantime. So letting them know when they can expect to hear from you and give them direction to answer their questions in this moment. So in this moment, let them know, hey, direct them to your Instagram to hang out with you on stories. If they have questions, give a link to your frequently asked question page on your website so they can get those answers to the questions that they need in this moment. Have a highlights frequently asked question over on your Instagram setup and link to that you can put in this initial inquiry when clients inquire with you. And I set this all up inside of Debsado in Bridal Boss Academy. All right, we covered response time. We covered decreasing the risk on their end. Now let's talk about friction in your process. Let me ask you, what's it like on your clients' end to work with you? So here's some main friction points for your clients' end, and here's main friction points for us on our end. So some main friction points I find for clients is they're unsure of what package actually fits them. If you do packages, if you do a la carte, they're like, I don't know if these services work for me. They're confused on how to inquire with you. They don't know exactly what they need in order to inquire with you. There's too many options to choose. There's too many options. There's too many things going on your inquiry form, which is going to lead to indecision. The response time is too long. They're waiting on answers from us for questions that they have. Having to pay all cash, checks, no digital payments accepted is a major friction point for clients to book with us. Now, what are some friction points for us when working with clients? Which is too many back and forth emails. We're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and we're like, is this girl going to book? I don't know. Is she going to book? We're answering the same questions over and over and again, right? About packages, the same ones, right? Feeling like we need to be online 24/7 to respond. So let's tackle the too many options to choose from and indecision, because this is a huge point that's going to create a lot of friction in your process. If you're from the Northeast, I'm from Philly, and Now I do live in Jersey, but don't call me a Jersey girl. I'm a Philly girl, okay? I have Wawa. What Wawa is like a corner store, but they have this kiosk with a menu of like cold food items that you can order. If you know Wawa, you know how many options they have on this kiosk is just like absurd. It's like absurd. So they have pizza, burgers, breakfast, hoagies, Mexican. Then you tap into breakfast and I'm inundated with more options. It's like paninis, bagels, sourdough, hoagies, bowls, quesadilla, egg bites, sausage, wheat. And then you tap in, you click one finally. After 25 minutes of standing there, you decide which one you want. And then they give you upsells of like different ones that you can add on. Do you want mac and cheese? Do you want fries? Do you want soup? Do you want hash browns? It's just like, I literally takes me so long to create a Wawa order because there's just so many options that sometimes I just like weigh and get something from the case because I'm like, I don't know what I want, Wawa. It's too many options to choose from. I'm confused. I'm undecided. I'm leaving, right? I'm getting out of there. Versus what I think Wawa should do is reduce how many options they give on the kiosk, right? It's like the buffet menu. When you have too many things, that pizza place that has 100 million different options versus the high-end restaurant that has like 10 menu options, right? Instead, what Wawa should do is offer two options. And then when I click into one, giving me three options and then giving me one upsell of one hash browns, right? Not all these crazy options that I don't know what I want standing in line forever. So for you, if you have packages, you want to have one offer, three packages tops, and two add-ons. We don't want to have all these different things that you offer, all these different service add and different things. It's making it so hard for them to be like, which one do I need? And that's when there's so many unanswered questions in their mind when they need help from you, right? So if you have one offer, three packages max, a minimum, a middle package, and a higher end package, and then you just have two service add-ons that they can add on. Simple, clean, less decision, right? Now, the next one that's causing them friction is they're waiting on those answers from you. So Saturday, she finds you. She wants to inquire, but she needs help deciding, right? She wants a quote ASAP. She has a question about a package. Now she has to wait for you. She's already moved on. Okay. She don't wait for the answer. Maybe she's typed it out to you, but she already has quotes out to like 10 people. And remember, somebody else may have responded faster. So how can we get them what they want ASAP? Let's just say, for example, you're only in your inbox on Tuesdays to Thursdays because the other days of the week you're servicing clients and you just quite literally can't be in your inbox. They're left waiting for 4 days for a response from you. But on our end, being online more days, maybe you would need to hire an email assistant and you just don't want to do that. It's increased effort and sacrifice on our end. But at the same time, for your client, she's unsure what package fits her and she wants a response ASAP. She's got emails blasting you up saying, I myself plus five bridesmaids. I don't know where I fit. I'm special, right? You're like, there's packages. Can you just choose a package? And she's like, but I don't know. I don't fit in any of these packages. I need you to respond to me. So to the question, what package is best for me? A way to have decreased effort and sacrifice on your end and their end is to create what I like to call a package qualifier. She wants a quote ASAP. She has a question about the package. She needs help deciding. So this is going to walk her through everything for one of your packages in a pretty little PDF. It's a way to get her questions ASAP, and it's something that you can send over in the first email that walks her through exactly everything that she would get in each package, answer the questions that she has about packages, the ones that you're typically getting all the time. And again, you can send it out in the first email. So while she's waiting for a response from you, she's at least getting taken care of, right? Now, I want to remind you, they inquired with you because they want to hire you. You just need to help make them secure in that decision, right? And if you want to take this a step further, I'll walk you through the emails that I send to my brides to get more bridal bookings inside of Bridal Boss Academy. And the enrollment opens in November to January. Sign up on the waitlist down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.